Greetings all to the YouTube technical community. This is Srinivas Tarimalla, having close to 2 decades of experience in the IT, played various roles as a tester, as a mainframe programmer, as a Java developer, tech lead, solution architect, integration architect, product specialist, many roles I played, and my core skills are payments. Okay, so having spent over a decade in mainframes and learning extensively from many YouTubers during my transition to Java, followed by another decade in the distributed technologies, I now feel it's time to give back to the community that has supported my growth. As an architect in the banking and financial services sector, I'm excited to contribute and share my journey with you. I have embarked on building a custom UI solution for managing Apache open source Kafka. Okay, so this solution basically integrates various external interfaces like Raspberry Pi and Elasticsearch for logging, among others. So my goal for building this full stack solution is to enhance my architecture skills and end of the day, and also to perform various proof of concepts with cutting edge frameworks, exploring how these innovations can be applied in real time world client projects. Ultimately, whatever we pursue should not only contribute to our personal development, but also bring value to the organizations we serve. So I look forward to share my learnings and insights with the YouTube community as a gesture of gratitude for all that I have gained along the way. So this one is the full stack application which I'm building. I started with the Kafka initially as a single component Angular application, and later I enhanced this to the micro front-end architecture with the home component, Kafka component, and I would like to extend this to Pulsar, IoT, and various other devices, various other open source technologies as well. As I said, my intention is to enhance my skills, technical skills to do better in my job and to educate others as well, because I learned many things from others, from my peers, from juniors, from various YouTube community, many more folks. Okay, so whatever we are doing Apache Kafka using the backend for creating a topic or deleting a topic, I want to trigger all these services via a custom UI solution, and the security has not applied yet. If you see this, these are all the various UI components which are developed: the broker topics, schema topics, Kafka producer, Kafka connector, so and consumer groups, Kafka logs. These are all the various areas. Okay, so I'm also in the process of connecting to the external interfaces for these logs. Okay, say for instance, elk is what I downloaded, the open source one. I want to integrate the logs generated out of the topics to the Kafka, out of the Kafka cluster to the elk. I don't want to go via Kibana. I want to build my own UI. So let's start the server first. If I give the GPS, nothing is running. Let's go back here and start the server. The server start is getting initialized. So now the server Kafka 3-node cluster is started successfully. Let's go back here and see in the JPS. Okay, the Kafka server is started now. So the good part is, I was no longer using the Zookeeper. I'm using the Apache open source craft to manage the Kafka cluster within the Kafka server itself, rather than having some external client to manage these Kafka servers. I just started only the Kafka cluster. There are various other components which I can start it here in UI. So go to here, the admin connector, start connector. So this is going to trigger the Kafka connector. We'll go on the backend side. And I also want to trigger the Kafka logging stuff here. So start Elasticsearch. Okay. Let's go back and check the Java process that are running. See, the 3 Kafka nodes are running. And since I triggered the Elasticsearch, which I downloaded, running it locally in my Mac, And I also started the Kafka Connect server, right? So I see the Java process for everything. Let me also give technical overview from the backend Kafka server standpoint of view. So whatever you're seeing here is these are the manual shell scripts that are getting triggered. So I will have to see on how to fine tune this guy even further for the start and stop. And initially when I started for creating a topic, I used it to do like this, and I'm no longer using the shell scripts. I'm using the Kafka admin server, the Java clients for creating the topic. So I'm going to delete this guy as I don't need the shell scripts anymore. Okay, so same is the case. I use it to delete the topic like this. So I don't need these guys anymore. From the UI side, I can create a topic. I can select the cluster here and I give the topic name as 3-topic 1, and the topic is this is for file testing. This is what you can see this, and the partitions you can give 3, and replication factor you can give 3, because typically in a production community environment we will have 3 Kafka servers for fault tolerance and reliability and performance, etc. So let's go ahead and create this topic. This topic has been created. If this topic is created successfully, then I should be able to list this topic here. Okay, so I have this the topic up and running now. Let's go ahead and create one connector with the name read file connector, and the connector type is file because I want to produce a message to the Kafka topic using this file connector. Um, sorry, I want to consume the message from the Kafka using this file connector. And this one, select the topic which you just created now. And the max task, you can give it 1. The file path is give this one. So let's create this guy. So this has created this topic. This topic is created successfully. You should be able to see it here, right? The one which you created in the cluster. So whatever the name you see, it's up and running now. So as you know, we have source connector and sync connector, right? Sync connector is the one which will help us to consume the data from the Kafka topic which you published and write it to the uh, um, resource where you wanted. The one which I created is a file sync connector. So whatever the message that I'm producing to the topic which I have just created will be written to that file. Okay, so I selected the Kafka cluster here, the drop down. So everything, there is a process that will get triggered in the back end, right? Because I just created this 3 topic. The moment I select the clusters, then the bootstrap lookup will happen on the Java backend side. So that will fetch the drop down list of the topics that are available on this cluster. And I want to publish a message to this guy. So in the JSON format here, so I would say the message I want to publish. Thank you to YouTube tech community. This is what I want to paste it as a JSON format, key value pair, and I want to send this message. So let's go back and see whatever you created is written to the file successfully or not. Okay, so for that here, this is where I pasted here, right? So this message has been written successfully to the uh, file which I configured while creating the sync connector. So far, I have leveraged only the resources within the Kafka. Now, within the Apache open source Kafka. So let's go ahead and create another sync connector to ship the logs. Okay, let's give this name as read-elastic.search connector. Still, I'm working on this. It's not yet completed. Okay, but let's go ahead and create the sync connector for this one. So what is the purpose of this is whatever the logs that were generated for this topic, they should be exported to the uh, Elasticsearch. And I'm not leveraging the Kibana UI because I want to build my own UI. Okay, so let's give simple, since it is a simple task here, and you need to give an index name for every log that you are exporting to the Elasticsearch, because you are going to search with this index name. And also on the Elasticsearch, the log files are stored as a document. So there will be an indexing with the document version number, etc. So I meant to take a deeper dive into the Elasticsearch but even having a bigger challenges to synchronize the logs successfully from the Kafka topic that were generated as and when we perform any operation, write operations, or read operations on the topic, the logs should get generated and exported to the Elasticsearch container. And end goal is to view the logs rather than going onto the Kafka server. I would like to view it via Kafka logs UI. Okay, let me go ahead and create this connector guy. So let me, even before I submit this topic, let's go ahead and show you one real quick thing here. This is a complete uh, microservices application on the Java. So let me clean this guy. Okay, so the REST endpoint, which I have using the domain-driven design principles, I trying to segregate the microservices logically, and the one which I'm using for the creating the connector is this Kafka connector, and it has its own endpoint, create sync connector, and I have this logger information available here to make sure everything is flowing as designed, as developed. Okay, so since I don't no longer need the source way anymore, right now I'm creating the Kafka's Elasticsearch connector for the log shipment from that are generated for the for the topic, and I want to export them to the Elasticsearch. Okay, this is a cluster and this is a topic, and this one. Let me go ahead and submit this guy. Sri connector created successfully. So if you go back and see here, let's enhance this guy. See, this is a sync connector URL. Okay, we'll talk a bit on this one. And this is a location where my Elasticsearch engine is running. Let's take a bit deeper dive into these two. And also, if you see the REST endpoint, this is the name I gave. This is the topic I chose. And this is a cluster, and the type is Elasticsearch. Based on the type, the class will be picked up dynamically. Okay, so and one more thing which I want to show you on the application.yaml side. If I go back here, so these are all the classes which I'm building it still under the development. This is the one which I leveraged Apache open source, and for custom Elastic Sync connector, we have the Apache Sync connector and sync tasks available, and I'm extending those classes from Apache and building the custom one infra Elastic Sync connector, because the goal of this guy is primarily to uh, facilitate the log shipment from the local server to the Elasticsearch engine. This is my Kafka cluster. See, initially I started with the Zookeeper. Now I'm no longer using Zookeeper. I have the 3 servers running. Took a while to set it up because whatever the YouTube videos I go on, unfortunately I was able to get only the single cluster, but this is a multi-cluster one. And I have, sorry, this is a multi-node. That's why I'm running 3 server properties here. That means 3 Kafkas are running, and these are managed by Craft. Okay, this controller dot properties is running on the local host 8083. Okay, sorry, not this one. If I go to the connect distributed dot properties, so the one which you have seen in the on the Java log. So this is where I'm running my Kafka uh, connect. This is the one which I'm going to use it for sync connect as well as the source connect. I'm thinking to have 2 different ports, 8083 and 8084. 8084 I want to leverage it for the source connect, whereas 8083 I want to leverage it for the sync connect. I have the one major challenge for the log shipment. Still I'm experiencing class not found exceptions, though I placed all the jars that are needed for the Elasticsearch in this library, and I'm going to pass the class name dynamically based on the connected type while creating it. As I said, you have seen two connector URLs, right, in the on the Java server side. One is the localhost 8083. This is for the Kafka connectors. Right now, I want to leverage this port only for the sync. Source connector setup is still in the progress. And localhost 9200, this is for the Elastic search, and the default port is 9200. So also I downloaded it. It's open source. And if you see this YAML here running localhost on 9200 port, that's what you are seeing. And initially I disabled all the security because I'm not able to make the connections. And security is a very big area. Still, I want to do it once I feel I got the product to the desired state which I wanted. So initially, when you see that, since the start and stop of the Elasticsearch engine is also happening via Angular UI, right? So this is the JSON response whenever the Elasticsearch engine is running successfully on the backend, and there's a button flip is there when the status is showing green, which means the Elasticsearch engine is running, and the stop means it will not this status green will change. Okay, so there is only one action button that is available based on the server state. So my just like Kibana, I want to build my own custom UI for the connector logs, producer logs, consumer logs, everything. Then I want to build my own analytics engine on top of it. And how do I want to fine tune? As I said, what is the end goal? The end goal is to build a product which will enhance our architectural skills, okay, and to meet the latest industry standards, uh, and many more things. As and when there is a progress, we will stay connected. But last but not the least, there are many YouTubers. There are many YouTubers who helped me for the last 1 decade in learning many wonderful things, especially in the core Java and Spring side and Angular side. So I'm really blessed and thankful to all the technology folks who contributed their knowledge to the YouTube community. A lot to learn. This is only for the educational purpose, right? Thank you.